ready for that kind of a commitment.
The other thing too is you make a lot of relationships on the road with not only, your crew, everybody that's on tour with you, whether or not they're on stage or behind the scenes, you make friends and stuff, and you get kind of close to certain people, and then all of a sudden it's over. And some of these people you'll never see again. They go on to work with somebody else. You might stay in contact with text every once in a while, but so that's also a weird feeling, to go out and feel like, oh, this is my family for the next 6 months. And they do become like a family. And then you come home, everybody goes to their real families, and you don't really speak that much,
Yeah.
I have a couple of friends that I've met like on tour that I still reach out to, and they still reach out to me. But for the most part, everybody just continues with life, and they're on to the next thing that they do.
Yeah.
So that can be a weird thing if you're coming home to nothing. If you're single and you go out on tour and you have all these great relationships with people, and then all of a sudden you come home and you're by yourself, that can also be kind of jarring to your mental state where, I always need at least a week to decompress from a tour back into normal life. You're probably not on the right time schedule, especially coming back from Europe or Japan or something.
Yeah.
And, it takes a couple days just to, oh, okay, this is what my home life's like again. It's almost too quiet, too, because everything on touring, you're on a schedule. You got to be here. You got to be awake at this time. You got to eat this time. You got to play the show. You got to get on the bus. You got to catch a flight. It's all very scheduled routine.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're sitting in your living room and you have all the time in the world to do. That's why I was always fortunate to be able to jump into a film when I was off tour, which I like to work. So like sitting there not knowing what to do with myself is kind of, because pretty much on tour you've already watched all the new movies in your hotel. So you come home and you're like, okay, what now? So if you're on tour and you come home, the best advice I could do is dive right in to something else after a couple days, or else you will go stir crazy, and it'll be like, it's because you're going from super intense, everything thrown at you all the time, to it's just you in a room, peace and quiet,
Yeah, and I've heard like some people will get like post-tour depression because, like you said, they, everything was so routines and everything was planned out for you, and then when you get back home and you have nothing lined up, and you don't really know what to do with yourself, so it becomes kind of like, oh, well, I miss my friends, I miss
I have
touring
friends
life.
that like if it was up to them, they'd be on tour 12 months out of the year.
Yeah.
They loved that, where that would drive me crazy. At some point it's got to end, or it's just, because then it just becomes kind of boring. It's like, okay, you're doing the same thing every day.
Yeah, it seems like it would be very like physically taxing on your body as well.
It actually keeps you, I think it keeps you, if you're doing a high energy show, I think it actually keeps you pretty healthy.
Yeah.
Like I would always drop pounds when I'd go on tour just because you're sweating every night, cardio. I mean, the show itself is like an hour of cardio, where you get home, you're scoring a film or you're behind a computer, you get complacent. So I actually thought touring kept me more on my toes than not touring.
Yeah.
I didn't really get tired. I never got sick. I know a lot of people get sick when they would go to Europe or just travel on a plane. That never happened to me. I always felt great on tour. But yeah, I guess the best advice I would give is enjoy the moment, take it all in. Don't take it for granted because it may never happen again. And then just find something to stay busy with when you are home and you're not, or else you will start missing it and will become an issue where like, I want to be out again. And